What if I told you that one of the most gifted players of all time, a man who played football like a composer conducting a symphony, was forced to retire because his body simply couldn't handle his own genius? This is the tragic story of Thiago Alcantara, the artist whose masterpiece was left unfinished. To understand the artist, you have to understand his origins. Thiago Alcantara do Nascimento was born into football royalty. His father, Masia, was a World Cup winner with Brazil in 1994, a tough, pragmatic midfielder known for his discipline and work rate. But from the moment Thiago could walk, it was clear he was different. He didn't just play football, he felt it. He was born in Italy, raised in Spain, with a Brazilian soul. He was a citizen of the world. The ball was his universal language. At just 14 years old, he was invited to join La Masia, Barcelona's legendary football academy, a place that has produced some of the greatest players in history. It was here, in the shadow of giants like Xavi and Iniesta, that Thiago began to hone his craft. He wasn't the fastest or the strongest, but his mind was on another level. He saw passes no one else could, executed turns with the grace of a ballet dancer, and controlled the ball as if it were an extension of his own body. His youth coaches were in awe. They spoke of a player who understood the geometry of the pitch, who could see 3 or 4 moves ahead of everyone else. He wasn't just playing a game, he was solving a complex, beautiful puzzle in real time. Pep Guardiola, the mastermind behind Barcelona's golden era, saw the genius in Thiago immediately. He gave him his first team debut at just 18 years old. In a team of superstars,
when we need in the position in that moment, we have enough players in this position. A part of this, I'm happy that Thiago came from England, because England is going to enjoy a really good player.
The young artist began to paint his fair strokes on the world's biggest canvas. He was the heir apparent, the one destined to carry the torch from Xavi and Iniesta and lead Barcelona's midfield for the next decade. But art cannot be contained, and Thiago's journey was about to take an unexpected turn. In 2013, Pep Guardiola left Barcelona for Bayern Munich, and he made one thing clear. He needed Thiago. Thiago or nothing was the message he sent to the Bayern board. He knew that to build his empire in Germany, he needed his artist. For 25 million euros, the deal was done. In Germany, away from the shadows of Barcelona's legend, Thiago was finally free to be a master of his own orchestra. At Bayern, he was magnificent. He conducted the midfield with an authority and elegance that the Bundesliga had never seen. He wasn't just a player, he was the team's brain, its heartbeat. He won the league title in every single one of his 7 seasons in Germany. He was the metronome, the man who set the tempo for one of the most dominant teams in modern football. This is where the legend of his unpressable nature was born. Players would try to close him down, but it was like trying to catch smoke. He would just disappear. His ability to receive the ball under pressure, turn, and create space was otherworldly. It was a skill that couldn't be taught. It was pure instinct, a deep innate understanding of space and time. His teammate, Alphonso Davies, said that his technical ability was the best he'd ever seen. You simply couldn't get the ball off him. But this is the problem with a player like Thiago. His genius doesn't show up in the data. He averaged just 4 goals and 4 assists per season at Bayern. To the casual fan, those numbers are average. But to those who watched him, he was the most important player on the pitch. He was the one who made everything else possible. He was the pass before the assist, the turn that created space, the artist who painted the picture for others to finish. His value was not in the final product, but in the beautiful, intricate process that led to it. In an era of football obsessed with data, Thiago was a living, breathing argument for the eye test. But even as he painted his masterpieces on the pitch, the first cracks began to appear in the canvas. His body, the vessel for his art, began to show signs of fragility. A knee injury here, a muscle strain there. They were minor at first, whispers of the tragedy to come, but the whispers grew even louder. He would miss a few games, then return as brilliant as ever, making everyone forget the fragility that lay just beneath the surface. After winning the Champions League with Bayern, Thiago decided he needed a new challenge. He moved to Liverpool, the most physically demanding league in the world. It was a move that excited and terrified fans in equal measure. Could this delicate artist survive in the brutal, chaotic world of the Premier League? For moments, the answer was a resounding yes. When he played, he was a cheat code. He brought a level of control and elegance to Liverpool's midfield that was simply breathtaking. His performance against Manchester United in 2022 is the stuff of legend. He completed more passes than the entire United midfield combined. He didn't just play the game, he owned it. That day, he turned Anfield into his personal canvas, painting a masterpiece of midfield dominance.
But Thiago's gone round. By the way, Thiago tonight, he's been unbelievable, by the way. But he's gone round smashing everybody as well. He's gone round, honestly, slid into tackles, he's gone through people like you wouldn't believe. That's what the great players do.
The 2021-22 season was when Thiago's genius truly shone. Liverpool came agonizingly close to achieving an historic quadruple, something no English team had ever accomplished. They won the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, beating Chelsea on penalties in both finals. They lost the Premier League by just 1 point to Manchester City on the final day, and fell to Real Madrid in the Champions League final. Thiago was instrumental in this near-perfect season, the conductor of Liverpool's symphony. But here's the cruel irony of his career. Liverpool had won the Premier League the year before he arrived in 2020, and the Champions League 2 years before that in 2019. And also, if that wasn't bad enough, they won the Premier League the year after he retired as well. Yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold said playing with him was like having a cheat code. You could be surrounded by 3 players and you could still give him the ball, knowing that he would not only keep it, but turn a dangerous situation into an attack. But the Premier League is a relentless beast, and Thiago's body, the vessel for his art, began to show signs of fragility. The injuries that had whispered at Bayern began to scream at Liverpool. He made 98 appearances for Liverpool, but he missed 108 games through injury. For every moment of magic, there was a month of painful rehabilitation. The artist was spending more time in the treatment room than in his studio. The frustration was immense for him, his manager, and the fans who only got fleeting glimpses of his genius. And then there was the goal against Porto, a strike so pure, so perfect, that it seemed to defy the laws of physics. Did it even touch the ground? It was a moment of pure, unadulterated genius. A reminder of the artist that was trapped inside a fragile body. In his final season, he played just 6 minutes. 6 minutes for a player who should have been running the show. And in July 2024, at the age of 33, he announced his retirement. In his emotional retirement message, Thiago didn't speak of bitterness or regret. He simply said, "Thank you, football." He was grateful for the time he had, for the beauty he was able to create. And for the rest of us, there is a profound sense of loss, a feeling that we were robbed of years of his art. What could have been if his body was as strong as his mind? How many more masterpieces would have been painted? His career is a beautiful, heartbreaking what-if story, a symphony left unfinished. Thiago's story is not just about football. It's a story about the nature of genius itself. In a world that increasingly values data over beauty, he was a throwback, a player whose impact couldn't be quantified. You couldn't measure his genius in goals or assists. You had to see it. You had to feel it. He was a player for the purists, for those who love the beautiful game in its purest form. He was a reminder that football is not just about winning, it's about how you play the game. It's about the moments of magic that take your breath away, the moments that make you fall in love with the sport all over again. He may not have the Ballon d'Ors of Messi or Ronaldo, or the long injury-free careers of other legends, but he had something they didn't, a unique poetic beauty that made you fall in love with the game all over again. His career may feel like an unfinished masterpiece, but the brushstrokes he left on the canvas of football will never be forgotten to the privileged witnesses of this greatness. He was and always will be known not just as a good footballer, but as a true artist of the beautiful game.